The shir is Le'el Nishmas Li Yoel ben David v'Chava, Le'el Nishmas Elimelech ben Levi Yitzchak, Osher Shmuel Chaim ben Ephraim v'Tziona, Esther bas Sarah, Osher ben Yosef, Tzvi ben Shragai, Rivka bas Yitzchak Isaac, Mira bas Yaakov, Le'el Nishmas Tzvi Dov ben Chaim Pesach. Today's his Yortzeit. Herb Sunshine, Yitzchak ben Sarah, Devorah bas Yitzchak, Yisachar ben Shifra, Leah bas Simcha, Avram ben Mordechai David, Ruvain ben Shmuel, Chana Golda bas Yisrael, Chaim ben Fega, Yaakov ben Yitzchak, Chana Ita bas Moshe David, Yeshua ben Shmuel, Leah Nishmas Mata Leah bas Eliyahu, Mordechai Netzach ben Rivka, Leah Nishmas Shoshana bat Clara, Batya Esther bat Benyamin, Ashraf Ilana bas Esther, and Zalman Lei ben Moshe, and Amichai ben Yaakov. Leila Nishmatam. Today's shir is, Beryl, thank you for handing out the papers. One to a customer. We're not up to the papers yet. What is a dream? Life is but a dream. La 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 la. Remember that song, Zisel, right? We'll see in our sources soon. We dream at night what we are thinking about during the day. So therefore, Yosef's brothers accused Yosef that his dreams were only what? An indication of his yearning and his obsession to what? To rule over him, to rule over them, right? We dream about what makes us tick. Dreams are our longing, our true inner self-expression. Dreams are the foundation of our inner being, the central core of the real me. Therefore, the dream of the Beis HaMikdash. Tuesday we have a special shir. Moshe, Tuesday is a fast day, 2:45 p.m. Avram, we have a special shir. Who will build the third temple? Make the dream come true. Right? That's Tuesday at 2:45 in honor of the fast. We dream of the temple because our dream is the foundation of what the physical Beis HaMikdash will be built. The question is, do we build it or will God build it? Stay tuned for Tuesday at 2:45. So we need our dreams.
Are you on the Hebrew side?
I'm not there yet. We have plenty of time. We're not there yet. Okay. So everyone has dreams, right? But it's what follows the dreams that matters. As we'll see, the Talmud teaches that dreams are judged and realized according to their interpretation. This means that what is actually done with the dream becomes the value of the dream itself. Many dreams remain just dreams, unfulfilled, good ideas that never come to what? To fruition, right? It is our behavior and our actions after the dream that gives the dream a purpose. Yosef worked his entire life to make his dreams come true and real, right? He forced his brothers to recognize him as their melech. So Beryl, it's not enough to dream. Dream a little dream of me. But Rose, what do you do after the dream? You have to scheme and plan and make sure the dream comes true. If Yosef would have been just a dreamer, nothing would have happened. But he forced his brothers to realize and make sure that the dream Chavawat comes true. Right? What do you do with your dream? Now, if you take a look at the top of the page where it says Shmuel, it's a page with two papers where it says Shmuel. Zisel, you see that? Shmuel, you don't see what it says Shmuel? No. Shmuel, it says Shmuel. Yeah, Shmuel. Source number 1, Shmuel. You have it, Rabbi Yaakov? This is from Gemara Brachas Nun Hey. Life is but a dream. Right? Shir Amalot, Peshuv Hashem, Eshiva Sion, Ahinu Kecholmim. When God, what does King David say in Tehillim 126? When God will bring us back to Eretz Yisrael, it'll be like what? A dream. The Golus is like one long nightmare. that thank God we're back in Eretz Yisrael. B'shuv Hashem Shivas Tiyayin, says King David, when God will bring us back to Pisgat Zev, Hayinu Kecholmim. Right? It'll be like what? A great dream. But we have to make the dream come true. Not enough just to dream about Pisgat Zev. You got to make it happen. You got to get up and leave Borough Park and make the dream come true. Not enough just to dream. Right? Many Jews throughout Galut dreamed about coming to Israel, but they didn't make it happen. Baruch Hashem, Rose, we fulfilled our dream because we got up and made it happen. God waits for us, Ling Yi, to make the dream come true. You're living the dream. You're in Eretz Yisrael, where we belong. So what do we make of our dreams? Sweet dreams. What about good dreams? Life is but a dream. Da la 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 la. Life is but a dream, right? Dream a little dream of me, to dream the impossible dream. Da 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 da. So Avram, what's it all about? Okay, I won't give up my day job. Okay, I will not give up my day job. Even if you beg me, I will not give up my day job. So take a look at source number 1. You see that, Malka? Source number 1, where it says Shmuel. So you have it, Shmuel. This is from the Gemara and Brachot. Source number 1, Shmuel ki hava choze chelma bisha. When Shmuel would have a nightmare, he woke up screaming. What did we say? Amar, he would say, v'chalomot hashved yaberu, hashav yidaberu. He would quote a pasuk in Zechariah that dreams are what? Shav, lies. Yiddisonia, when Shmuel, the great sage in the Babylonian Talmud, when he would have a nightmare, he would quote Zechariah, v'chalomot hashav yidaberu. Dreams speak lies. Right? He turned over, went back to sleep. Ki hava choze chelma tova. But when Shmuel had a sweet dream, Omar, he would say, v'chalomot hashav yidaberu. You think dreams are lies? V'ksiv, there's a pasuk in Bamidbar 12, b'chalom adaber bo. Masha, how does God speak to Nevi'im? B'chalom adaber bo. Moses is the only prophet that got the Nevuah awake. Other prophets get it in sweet dreams. So when Shmuel would have a good dream, he would quote Bamidbar 12, Beryl, b'chalom adaber bo. When God has something to tell us, he tells us what? In a dream. So it seems to be make up your mind. You're burning the candle, Sharon, at both ends. Do dreams speak lies, or is it a form of prophecy? So Ravi Rama, it's a good thing Rava asked this kasha. Ksiv, there's a pasuk in Zechariah, there's a pasuk in Bamidbar 12, b'chalom adaber bo, that God speaks to us what? In dreams. Uksiv, but then there's a pasuk in Zechariah, v'chalomot hashav yidaberu, that dreams speak what? Lies. Now we know the Talmud, the sages can disagree, but Tanakh cannot disagree, right? Ruvain, Tanakh cannot disagree. So make up your mind. Does God speak to us in a dream, or are dreams what? Lies. Yes, Rivka? No. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand. Okay. Lo kasha. Kan al yidei malach, kan al yidei shed. Ooh. If you have a sweet dream, that's God's messenger talking to you. Kan al yedei shed, but lo yaleinu, if a person has a nightmare, that's what? Demonic. That's demonic. Rosemary's Baby. Ruvain, what does it mean? Al yedei shed. Yes, Ruvain, what?
There's two types of shavuot. Shavuot God and shavuot sheker.
Right.
Is there any connection to that?
We'll talk. Good point. So a good dream is God's agent. A bad dream, don't worry about it, it's the shed. What does that mean, Avram?
It's a demon.
The devil. The devil made me do it. Who said that? What? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. What it means. Omer Rab Bizna Bar Zavda, Omer Rab Yakiva, Omer Rab Panda, Omer Rab Nachum, Omer Rab Biram, Mishim Zoken Echad, Imanu Rabbana. Look how many rabbis, each quoting the other. Why is it important, Azizel? These rabbis have been dead for 2,000 years. This rabbi said in this guy's name, this rabbi said in that guy's name. Why is it important, Sharona? All these rabbis, why is that? Because the Talmud says, when you quote a dead rabbi's name, Masha, he gets to pitch. Now pitching, right? In Olam Haba, there are many great rabbis. Who gets to say the shir? If you mention the rabbi's name down here in the Chama, he gets to give the shir in the Yeshiva Shalmala. So therefore it's important to what? To mention each rabbi's who said the Devar Torah. This way each one gets a chance to what? To shine. Esim va'arba potrei chaloma toi b'shalayim. In the days of Rabbi Akiva, there were 24. What profession are you in, Chava? My son the doctor, my son the lawyer, my son the dream interpreter. So in the days of Rabbi Akiva, there were 24 dream interpreters in Yerushalayim. Pam echas chalamti chalom. This rabbi had a dream. V'halachti eitzel kulam, and he went to all 24 different dream interpreters. Yiddish. Umasha posalizeh loy posalizeh. What this guy interpreted, the other guy what? Didn't. V'kulam neskaimu. B, and all of them came what? True. L'kayim ashenemar kol achaloymos holchem achar apeh. All dreams follow what? Interpretation. So how to handle bad dreams? Huh? If you have a bad dream, tell it over to a good friend. He'll put a positive spin on it, and guess what? It'll turn out good. Isn't that amazing? How to have sweet dreams, right? If you have a bad dream, tell it over to a good friend, and he will give it a good interpretation, and it'll become what? A good dream. You hear this? Pretty interesting, huh? Now look at source number 2, please.
Rabbi, before we go into source number 2.
Source number 2. You go ahead.
Quick question? Yeah.
Go ahead.
What about the fact of having a bad dream, whether you tell it or not? There's a thing called the dream fast, I believe, in the Talmud that talks about this, where even on Shabbat, I think you're allowed to maybe...
That's a very good point.
Fast.
Yeah, the fast, yeah.
If the dream bothers you so much, and you don't have a good friend to tell it over, that'll disturb your own Shabbos. You can even fast on Shabbos. But you're creating your own problems, because if you ignore the bad dream, pay it no mind, or tell it over to a good friend, then you don't have to fear it. But if you're so depressed by the dream, you don't have a good friend to put a positive spin on it, then you're even permitted to fast on Shabbos. But then you got a problem. You got to make up the fast during the day. Right. But the point over here is that you don't have to worry about a bad dream. The way we interpret it, that's what happens, Shoshana. Look at source number 2, please. Omer Shmuel bar Nachmani, Omer Rabbi Yonatan. See source number 2? Ein marin loy la'adam ela marhula liboy. What is a person shown at night? What he thinks about during the day. Right, Avram? Shenemar, there's a posuk in the book of Daniel. Nebuchadnezzar had a bad dream. He dreamed about this monster, remember? Shenemar, so Daniel told him, Ant Malka, you king, Rayonach. Maze Rayonach. Your Rayonach, your Rayon, your ideas are Mishkaf Chasulku. Because you were obsessed with what? With violence, so you had this violent dream. Right? Omar Rava. I'm skipping a little bit. Omar Rava, Teda. How do you know you dream about at night only what you think about during the day? How do you know? Omar Rava. What's the next word, Chava? Teda. What's Teda mean? You should know. Deloy machve leila inosh. A person is never shown in the dream. Lo dikla de dahava. What does dikla de dahava mean? A golden palm tree. You ever dream about a golden palm tree?
No.
V'loy pila de oyel bekupa de machta. And you never dream about an elephant passing through the eye of a needle. Why? You have any more pages, Beryl? Please look in with your neighbor. If you look in with your neighbor, we have good neighbor Sam. So a person never dreams about a golden palm tree and pila the oil bekupa de machta, and he doesn't dream about what? An elephant passing, Jumbo. Remember Jumbo the elephant? Dumbo, slicha. Passing through the eye of a needle, because people don't think about that. Okay? So what you think about during the day, that's what?
Now that you mentioned it, maybe we'll dream about it.
Now you dream about it, right? About a golden palm tree or a needle, elephant passing through the eye of the needle, right? Now, please take a look at, let's go to source number 4. Skipping number 3. Let's go to source number 4. You with me? This is Gemara Sanhedrin, page 30. Shelley, you look in with your sister Masha? Yeah. It's important to look in. You have a paper? Source number 4, Sanhedrin, page 30. A father died, it's a true story, Beryl, Sanhedrin Daf Lamed. A father died and left an only son, and the son knew the father has $1 million stashed somewhere, but he didn't tell him where. And his father came to him after he died in a dream, and he says, Kach v'kach hein, b'mokom ploini hein. After his father died, he came in a dream. He says, listen, the $1 million are buried in the backyard underneath the apple tree. The son went there, right? So the father told him the money's buried there, but shall maisa sheni hein. But you know that the money, the $1 million doesn't belong to me, belongs to tzedakah. Charity. Yeah, charity. So he's excited. The father told him, after he's dead, he came back in a dream. The money's buried underneath the apple tree in the backyard, but you should know the money belongs to tzedakah. So the son got dressed in the middle of the night. He took a flashlight. He starts digging on the apple tree, and he finds a satchel with $1 million. But the father says it belongs to tzedakah. Zehoya Maisa. Jonah, Mispa Arba. This is what happened. So he went to the Bezdin. Hear this? He went to the court. And he said, listen, I got this dream from my dead father. There's $1 million in the satchel, exactly what Papa told me it is. But he says it belongs to tzedakah. Do I have to give it to tzedakah? Amru divrei chalomot loy malam loy meridin. Yiddish lingi, you can keep the money. You can keep the money. His father says $100 bills, $1 million stashed in the backyard. He's dead. He comes in a dream. He has money, but it belongs to tzedakah. So the son was religious. He went to Sanhedrin and he said, listen, the money is there like the dead father told him, but he said it belongs to tzedakah. So Sanhedrin Daf 30 tells him, Divrei chalomot lo malam lo meridin. Dreams are what? What's lo malam lo meridin? They don't count. You can keep the money. Why should he keep the money? The father told him exactly where it is.
But it depends on what you do after the dream, right?
Okay.
So Rabbi B'Shamayim, he asked the basic. He asked the
Source number 5. So let's see what the Rambam says about this. Source number 5, Shiona, Mispach Hamesh. If you don't have a paper, please look in with your friend. It's important. The Rambam codifies this. Harei shahoya mitztaer. Father died, left an only son. The son knows that the father has $1 million stash somewhere, but he didn't tell him where. He doesn't know where the father what? Hid it. Then after the funeral, Avram, the father comes to his son in a dream. The money's buried underneath the cherry tree in the backyard. $100 bills in a black satchel. The Shalplaini Hain. But you should know the money is stolen. It belongs to Yankel Shmerel. You hear what the father said? The money is stolen. $100 bills, black satchel, and backyard underneath the cherry tree, but the money is stolen. Umotzon b'makom ploini. And the son digs up, and waited till the next morning. Maybe he got excited that night, he dug up. And not only is the money there, but even in the $100 bill denominations, like his dead father told him. But he told him it belongs to Yankel Shmerel. Yiddish Malkai stole the money. So he went to court and says, what? Can I keep the money, Ruvain, or do I have to give it to Yankel Shmerel? Because my dead father told me exactly where the money is in the exact denominations, but he said it's stolen money, belongs to Yankel Shmerel. Do I have to give it to him, what?
He said the same answer.
Amru Chachamim, Divrei Chalomot, Loimam Loimeridin. You can keep the loot. You don't have to give it to Yankel Shmerel. Nechama, why? If the father came from the way, one step beyond, Chava, the father came from beyond the grave, and he told them exactly where the money is, in a black satchel underneath the cherry tree, in exact denominations. But he told them money stolen, so why can he keep the money? That's a great question.
Yankel Shmerel might have died.
No, Yankel Shmerel is alive.
Which Yankel Shmerel?
Yankel Shmerel, who lives on 30 Street, he gave him the exact address, where he lives even. So the Rambam says in Hilchis Zechia Matana, Divrei Chalomot, Loiman Loimeridin. Keep the money. The question is, why? Why? I'll stay tuned. So to answer this kasha, we're going to what? Ask another kasha. Kasha, good with varnishkis, no? Now, look at source number 6, Beryl. You see the point I'm trying to make. Source number 6. This is Tractate Nidorim Daf Chet. Source number 6. Omer Rav Yosef. Nodu b'chalom. Didn't we say if someone has a bad dream, put a good spin on it, and you're okay? But Rav Yosef says if someone was put in cherem in a dream, someone was dreamt that he's excommunicated by the Jewish court, tzorech asara b'nei adam latiralo. Then he needs what? When he wakes up in the morning, he comes to the diaspora yeshiva in a sweat. We have to convene a minyan of 10 people to be mevatel his cherem. But why, Rivka? We just said that dreams don't matter. You're burning the candle, Sharon, at both ends. What's going on over here? Right? So should we worry about a bad dream? Shouldn't we? I'm all shook up. I'm all mixed up. So look at the source, Perush Haran. Why should he worry about it? Perush Haran, the very last source in 6. Tzorech asara latiralo. Why does he have to wake up the next morning and come to the yeshiva and get 10 talmidim to be mevatel the dream? Lefi shachalom have ke'en nevuah. Because a dream is like what? Nevuah. Yesh lo lidog min aproniot. So he has to be very worried, Sonia, for the proniot. What does that mean? Punishment. I put a spell on you. 1 minute. Lochein tzorech latiroi basara. Then he has to what? You need 10 people to be mevatel, to cancel the excommunication. Okay? V'az hu mutar ba'oto bezin should do, right? Then he becomes permitted. He had a bezin in a dream, put him in cherem. He takes a bezin of 10. What do you need 10 for? I thought a bezin is only 3, because by 10 the shechina's there. When 10 Jews get together, Ruvain, there's a shechina there. Even though you only need 3 to put you in cherem, but to be mevatel the cherem, Zisel, you need 10, because by 10 there's a shechina. So I'm all mixed up over here. You told me that what? That dreams don't matter. And here you're telling me you should matter. What?
When it comes to eternal things, it would
So what's going on over here? And the Rambam in Sanhedrin says if you have a dream, the father tells you where the money is, take the money and run. Who said that? You can keep the money, forget about Yankel Shmerel, because dreams lie. But the Shulchan Aruch Yeridei Simin Reish Nun Tes says, the person has a dream, and he's put in Cherem, he has to convene a bezin of 10 people the next morning to nullify the dream. So we're mixed up. And what's the answer, Rivka? The answer is, remember we said the answer to this mystery is found back in source number 1. Back in source number 1. When Shmuel, the sage, had a good dream, he said, B'chalom adaber bo. A good dream is a message from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's a malach. A bad dream, al yedei shed. That's coming from the dark side. So what's the answer?
I mean, the thing about the money and it's stolen money and this and that, those are good dreams?
No, so the stolen money, the dream you have to split in two, Sonia. Please hear me well. Jews love to split hairs. Jews love to split hairs. The stolen money, the first part of the dream, that's through a malach, that you got a bonanza. The second part of the dream, Rose, that says it's stolen, that's a shed. That's coming from the dark side, Ziesel, and Jews love to split hairs. Split hairs. So therefore, when it comes to money matters, the good part of the dream, that's my bonanza, that's a gift from Hashem. The second part of the dream that it's stolen, I disregard that, because that's a test. That's Satan trying to mix me up, Avram. Life is all a test. Satan's trying to drag me down. So therefore, the second part of the dream that says that the money is stolen, I ignore that. Because God is testing me by allowing Satan to play mind games with me. Beryl, splitting hairs. By the dream of what? Of he put in Cherem, the dream and put in Cherem, that's all the malach. You did something that was not right, so Hashem sent you a malach to warn you to get your act together, do tshuva, and have the Cherem annulled. Okay? So, the dream about being in Cherem, that is completely al yedei malach.
How do you know that?
Because I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this is my Rebbe Rapam Zatzal's interpretation. I'm not making it up, Rivka. This is what he's telling me. That every dream is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, because we are all Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You have to know when to play up the Dr. Jekyll and ignore the Mr. Hyde. So if you have a dream about money matters, my Rebbe said, the first part of the dream, that's Hayedei Malach. That's a bonanza to keep. The second part of the dream, that it's stolen, that's through Satan's shed. That's only to test me, right, to challenge me, and I should ignore that. Challenge. Will I believe Satan or not? Will I believe that it's stolen? But the dream of the Cherem, my Rebbe said, that you have to take seriously, because that's al yedei malach. I did something wrong. 1 second, Masha. Did something wrong. God in his loving compassion put me in Cherem in a dream. That's God's message, that I should do tshuva. And part of the tshuva is to get the cherem annulled and to change my behavior. So you hear what's going on? So if a person has a bad dream, he should go to a chacham. The chacham will tell him whether ignore it or whether he should what? And what kind of tshuva he needs, Shoshana. Okay, you with me on this? Shoshana had a question first. What?
The first dream he was told that it was charity money, and he was told he doesn't have to give it to charity.
That's right. That's Satan.
That's no good.
That's to trip him up. Charity money, stolen money, Hashem is sending you a bonanza through this malach who's disguised as your father. But the other part that says that it's not your money, that's Satan. How do I know? Because that's Das Torah. This is what my Rebbe Rapam taught us. You have to know how to, what? Split, right? Right? Because many dreams have shtuyot. You have to filter out, Moshe, the shtuyot from what?
The truth.
That's source number 3. See source number 3? Source number 3. Let's go to source number 3. You'll answer your kasha, Shoshana. Source number 3. There's a pasuk in Yirmiyahu Chav Gimel. You have that? Yirmiyahu Chav Gimel, source number 3. Hanavi yashe'ita chalom, yisaper chalom. God is speaking about the false prophets in Yirmiyahu's time. So God tells Yirmiyahu in chapter 23, Hanavi yashe'ita chalom, yisaper chalom. Vashe devori ito, Yidabe Devari Emet. But if he tells my words, then the Navi is speaking truth. Ma leteven et habar num Hashem. What a straw got to do with the grain. This is all part of the Nevuah in Yirmiyahu 23. V'chi ma inyan bar v'teven etz chalom. What does grain and straw have to do with a dream? El Omer Rabbi Yochanan Meshivim B'Yechoi Kishem She'ef Shel Abar Below Teven. Just like it's impossible to have grain without what? Chaff. Kach Ef Shechalom Below Devorim B'Teilim. So you can't have a true dream without what, Rabbi Yaakov? Devorim B'Teilim. What's the nonsense? That's Satan trying to trap me. So every dream has truth. That's coming from God, and every dream has shtuyot. That's coming from the Yetzer Hara, Satan. And you have to be able to separate, Rabbi Yaakov, the grain from the shmutz. So you come to a chacham. Okay? What's the question, Shoshana?
I was told that there are 3 categories of dreams that you have to go to a Beit Din Timavato.
Go ahead.
A sacred Torah burning.
Yeah.
You dream of your house burning.
Yes.
And the third one I can't remember.
Well, Shoshana, it's a good thing I came today, because source number 6, Nedorim 8 says only if you see that you're putting cherem.
Not the other 2?
No, not according to the Talmud. Right? The Talmud in Nedorim 8 tells us only if you're putting cherem in a dream, then you have to go to a chacham and convene a minyan. Okay? Yes?
Rabbi, this is a very difficult topic.
Right.
For all you know, the father comes in a dream because the father stole.
And he wants tshuva.
So he wants his son to give the money back.
And yet?
And they tell him, no, keep it.
Keep it.
That's odd.
That's odd. Huh?
All these examples, including the one about being excommunicated, have a practical thing in real life. In other words, if it says you have to go to 10 people to get...
Because the Shekhinah's there by 10, says the Ran.
Yeah, but if you don't go, then there's certain restrictions on your own life after that.
That's right. You put the cherem, they can't give you an aliyah.
Right.
Nobody can come within Dalet Amos of you. Right? I'll put a spell on you.
So if you don't tell anybody about the dream, then you're going to be violating this excommunication.
You can't mingle with people.
This is a very complicated...
Okay, let me try to we can work it out. We can work it out. To make the matter even more complicated, please hear me well. In the 1700s, I'll get to the questions later. Yeah, what? Quickly.
All you need is 3 to be mazineder.
Right.
When they come up with 10.
10, look at the final source on number 6, says the Ran, if a person's put in cherem, he needs 10 because the Shekhinah only rests with 10 Yidden. See source number 6, Perush Haran, the Be'asara Shekhinah Sharia. Because as Loyaladu, if someone's put in cherem, 3 are not enough. You need a minyan because there you got the Shekhinah. Okay? Okay, so Rabbi Yaakov is good to kasha. The guy's coming from beyond. He wants tshuva. He stole the money from your Uncle Shmerel. And yet we say, no, you can keep the money. Divrei Chalamot Loimal Loimeridin. So to answer Yaakov's kasha, I'm going to what? Ask a Bumba kasha on your kasha. In the 1700s, there was a famous machlokus whether you can eat sturgeon and caviar. You can Google it. Sturgeon and caviar. There was a big machlokus in the 1700s about the Gedolei Yisrael. A fish is called sturgeon. And caviar comes from sturgeon. Okay? Now what the problem is, a fish to be kosher needs fins and scales to be kosher. The problem is the sturgeon was a fish who shed its scales in Mayim. Right? Who shed its scales in Mayim. Out of Mayim, it's scaleless. This sturgeon fish, Shelley, to be kosher, you need fins and scales. The problem with this sturgeon fish is that in the water, it had scales. Once you take this sturgeon fish out of the water, it became scaleless. Huh? Is it a kosher fish or not? Buddy, sturgeon.
There's two kinds of sturgeon.
Okay.
One is in the ocean and one is in fresh water. The one in fresh water is kosher.
Well, anyway, there was a big machlokus in the 1700s, a fish who shed its scales. In Mayim, it had scales. Once you took this fish out of the water, it loses its scales. Is this fish kosher or not?
But loses the scales when it's dead. Yes.
No, it's alive. You take it out of the water, it sheds the scales.
I thought it shed it when they were mature.
Oh.
It only was
In the water, Chava, don't mix me up. In the water, it has scales. You take it out of the water, it sheds its scales. Most of the Gedolim in the 1700s says it's not kosher. Because when the Torah says it has to have snappy v'kaskeses, it must retain the kaskeses on the yabasha. Since it lost its scales in the yabasha, since it had it in the mayim, it doesn't count. So you can't eat it. The Noide Yehuda, one of the greatest poskim of the 1700s, he ruled that it's kosher. Because as long as it has kaskeses, b'toch hamayim, that's all that matters. You take it out of the water, it loses its masha, too bad. If it has the kaskesas in the mayim, that's all that count. And he said that this fish is what? Kosher. And the other Gedolim disagreed with him.
A fish belongs in water. A fish doesn't belong on the land.
That's why he said it's kosher.
What? So he said that it's what? That it's kosher.
That's why it's kosher.
His son writes, Noid Yehuda's son writes, his father had a dream. His father had a dream that in Olam Haba, all the great tzaddikim are served gefilte fish. The waiter gives them gefilte fish. And he is served shrimp and calamari. Calamari, shrimp, clams, lobster. This great Noida Yehuda has had a dream that in Olam Haba, he's sitting with all the tzaddikim, Tziona, and they're all getting gefilte fish by the heavenly waiter. And him they serve calamari, lobster, and eel. So he says, Malach, what are you giving me? What are you giving shkotzim v'remosim? So the Malach says, well, what do you want? You were mate shkotzim v'remosim. You said that the sturgeon fish is kosher. It's just like calamari and lobster, so enjoy your lobster.
Did he?
He woke up of the dream. Did he change his psak? No! He didn't change his psak. He said, Divrei chalomot loy malim loy maridin. He didn't change his psak.
Was he rich?
He didn't, to the end, he didn't change his
Was
psak.
he wealthy? That,
The Noida Yehuda?
that he could afford sturgeon and
What? So he said that sturgeon and caviar are kosher. As long as it has scales in the water, even though you take it out, it sheds. Doesn't matter, it's kosher. And even though the other Gedolim said, no, it's treifa, right? Most of the Gedolim ruled against him. So in halacha, we follow the majority. So therefore, conservative Jews do eat sturgeon and caviar. Conservative Jews do. Orthodox Jews don't. The conservative Jews rely on the Noda B'Yehuda. He was a super Haredi rabbi who said that it's okay, but he's a das yochid. We know in halacha, yochid v'rabim, halacha karabim. So therefore, Orthodox Yidden don't eat sturgeon. But conservative Yidden rely on the Psak of Noda B'Yehuda. But what's amazing is that even after having this dream, Zisel, that the Malach is serving him what? Calamari and clams and lobsters. And he says, what are you giving me this? He said, what do you want? You were mater, tray for fish. Have some more. He got up and he did not change his Psak. Because he said, Divrei chalomot, loimal maridin, this comes from Satan, and I throw it away. Until the end, his son testifies, he what? Continued to paskin that it's kosher. Again, most of the Gedolim in his time did not agree. And we know, Sonia, that we follow what? Halacha karabim. But the point is that what? The point is that what? That
He never changed his eyes.
he never changed his, right? Bad dreams are to be ignored. The only exception is a what? Put in cherem. You put in cherem, that's through a malach. So if you have a bad dream, ignore it. Good and bad, you're supposed to what? Take the good and throw away the garbage. Like God tells Jeremiah in 23, all dreams are a mixture of what? Bar v'teven. Mazeh bar tziona? Wheat. Wazet teven? Shmutz. Chaff. So God tells Jeremiah 23, every dream is a mixture like that. You're supposed to separate borer, not on Shabbos, not on Shabbos. Take the bar and throw away the teven. So therefore, the Noda B'Yehuda said that this dream about him getting what? Calamari and lobster in Olam Haba is shtuyot. God is testing me. I'm not going to change my opinion because loy b'shamayim he. The Torah is not in heaven. We decide. Now let me just tell you one more before we talk. We have time. One more. The Rambam in Hilchas Tefillin, the famous machlokas between Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, how to put the tefillin. Okay? Now, the Rambam in Hilchas Tefillin says, Keitzat Seder HaParshiot. You know, the 4 sections of the tefillin. So, how are they ordered? So, the Rambam writes, Keseder Shakosvan Batorah, Mugda, Mucha, Muchar. There are 4 pashas in the tefillin. How do you put them in? The pasha that's written first gets kadima, and the pasha last is last. So, therefore, Kadesh Li comes first, Hoyel Kaviyacha comes next, Shema Yisrael comes third, V'hoyim Shemoah comes fourth. That's the Rambam's opinion, and the Kesef Mishnah says that's Rashi's opinion. In order of their section of Torah. First has Kadesh Li Kol Bechor, Pashas Bo, Hoyel Kaviyacha is next, Shema Yisrael, and the last Hoyim Shemoah. And that's Rashi's opinion. Like the Rambam. But the Rabbeinu Tam argues with Grandpa, Tziona. Eza Nachas, you have a grandson arguing. There's a famous story, Rabbeinu Tam as a little child was sitting on Rashi's knee. And in those days, they wore tefillin all day. Rabbeinu Tam as a child was sitting on Rashi's knee, and he yanked the Rashi's tefillin off his head as a baby. So he said, "Oi, he's going to give me trouble. This anicle is going to give me trouble." You hear this?
He had such a headset.
He had. Those days they wore tefillin. So he's sitting, the little kid is sitting on his lap, and he pulls the tefillin on the side. So Rashi says, uh-oh, he's going to argue with me. He says it's the same 4 parshas, but he says the order is not in that order. You hear? So he argues with Rambam and his grandfather. The Migdal Oz, one of the Noishe Keil and Rambam says, and this machlokes has been going on, what? For centuries. You hear this? So the Migdal Oz writes that he fasted many Tanesim, and he went up to Shammai and he said, God, please decide who is Rambam and Rashi right, or is Rabbeinu Tam, Rabbeinu Hananel right? Yeah? So you know what God answered him? Ki peplukta ba'ara, kach plukta b'rekia. Yeah. God says, don't ask me. What you guys are arguing down here, we are arguing up there. Elu v'elu divrei Elohim chayim. Right? But the Migdal Oz writes, his great Mekubal, he writes, Shemotzu b'keve Yecheskel. They found a pair of tefillin in the tomb of Yecheskel, and it's like Rambam and Rashi. It's like Rambam and Rashi. V'chei nogu b'roiv Yisrael. Most of the Jewish world follows what? Rambam and Rashi's opinion. Right? But you see, even Shemayim, they're also Elu v'elu divrei Chayim. Now, what's amazing is, Ruvain, they found the tefillin of Bar Kokhba soldiers. You can go to the Israel Museum. They found tefillin of Bar Kokhba soldiers. They were religious soldiers then, like the Haredi Brigade, Bar Kokhba soldiers. And guess the tefillin rows are what? Both ways. Both ways. So you see that this Machlokas Shoshana didn't begin. They found certain soldiers had their sections like Rashi, and other soldiers had sections like what? So you see that this Machlokas goes back at least 2,000 years. So how did God tell Moses? Both ways. Elu, you guys, both ways are correct, but you have to decide what's dominant. So Rabbeinu, the soldiers of Bar Kokhba from 2,000 years ago, certain soldiers had Rabbeinu Tam's way, others had Rashi's way. So you see, Elu v'elu divrei Elohim chayim, and yet, so how did God tell Moshe Rabbeinu? God said, as far as I'm concerned, both ways are correct. But you Yidden have to decide which you prefer. Isn't that incredible? You Yidden have to decide which you prefer.
So you're saying
Elu v'elu divrei Elohim chayim. What? Most of the Jewish world follows Rashi and Rambam. Even though the other way is also right. Because God said both ways are right. But God said, a lot of people do both. A lot of people do. My Rebbe, Rav Yaakov Kabanetsky, Zechat Tzadik Avrocha, Rav Yaakov, you had him before me. He said when he turned 90, only then did he start putting on Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin. Good thing you came today. He said, when I turned 90, he started to put on Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin. Only when he turned 90. A lot of Sfardim, I see Sfardim, young guys put on two pair. Not at the same time. Not at the same time. That's a problem about Tosef. That's a big problem. That's a problem about Tosef. You put on two at the same time. Okay, that's yes. What did Rashi give his grandson? He wasn't alive anymore, right? Because Rashi died, Rabbeinu Tam was still a young child. It's a good question. If Rashi would have lived, what tefillin would he give his anikel?
What would Rabbeinu
Tom, do it. Would he listen? Zayda, forget about it. I'll take my own, right? Right? Pretty amazing. But no, the Rabbeinu Tam, according to Rashi and Rambam, it's in the order of the in the Torah. First Kaddish Li, then V'hoya V'kiviyacha, Shema V'hoyim Shemoah. Rabbeinu Tam has the reverse order. He says Achron Chavib. It's the same four parshas, but depending on the order. So Rashi and Rambam agree in order of what's written first. Kaddish Li, Hoya Kaviyacha, Shema V'hoyim Shemoah. And the Rabbeinu Tam says, no, put Shema first.
Is that from the wearer or the one that's so
from the right side.
From your right side?
From your right side. Okay? The same four parshas, but what? Now, the Shalyad, please give me a few more moments. The Shalyad has the same 4 parshias, but on one parchment. What's the symbolism, Rivka? The Shalyad has the same 4 parshias, Kaddish Li, Hoy Kavyacho, Shema, Shema, but written on one long Megillah. The Tefillin Shalosh has the 4 parshias, but in 4 separate Megillas. Madua Valama. What's the message? Fasten your seatbelts.
Think differently, but do the same.
What?
You can think differently, but...
Sharona, you're beautiful.
What did she say?
She said, we'll ask another question. Why do you put on the Tefillin Shalyad first? Why do you put on Tefillin Shalyad first? Because it's written first in the Torah. Right? First put what? On your hand and then between your eye. But that just begs the question. Why does the Torah tell me first put on the Tefillin Shalyad and then Shalrosh? Sharona had a beautiful point, but to fine-tune what she said, Rashi in the end of Parshas Bo says that the 4 parshas of Tefillin represent the Arba Banim. Malka, you got to hear this. The Arba Banim. It's worth staying, I'm telling you. The 4 parshas of Tefillin represent the 4 sons. So even the Rasha gets a parsha of Tefillin. Even the Rasha. Rashi was Haredi. In Parshas Bo, he says the reason that the Tefillin have 4 sections is that even the Rasha, Arba Banim, even the Rasha deserves what? A parsha in the Tefillin. Even the Rasha. Rashi in Parshas Bo. So Sharona made a beautiful point. The Tefillin Shalosh represent what? Debate, thinking, arguing. White Jews love to argue, and we respect all opinions, even the Rasha's opinion. He has a right to voice his opinion. The Tefillin Shalosh, we listen to him and debate with him. But when it comes to Tefillin Shalyad, what does Yad represent? Doing. Then you have to all unite as one. Yiddish Avram? Tefillin Shalosh has 4 sections. The Chacham, the Rosh Hashanah, each have equal time to debate and say their piece. But when it comes, Yad represents what? Action, doing. When it comes to doing, you all have to be on the same page. All 4 parshas are what? On one page. Then you have to stop debating and do what has to be done. What? Ish echad. So therefore, Tefillin Shalyad comes first. Do it. We said Nase before Nishma. Just do it. Then you can ask questions and debate all you want, but first you have to what? Nase, Yodcha. That's all on one page. To do what the Torah says. Once Nase, then Nishma. Then I'll listen to you, the Chacham, the Rasha, the Tam. But first has to be the Nase. Therefore, the Tefillin Shalyad is what? Before the Rosh. Yad represents doing. What? What Chalamot?
The dreams. Are we on a different section, or do they tie together?
What?
Are we on a whole different track now with the...
No, this is just a side thing. No, this I just said on a side thing because I went off the end with Tefillin. But the idea with the Chalom, again, is a person has a good dream and a bad dream. The good dream he's supposed to accept, and the bad dream he's supposed to ignore unless he tells it to a good friend who'll put a positive spin on it. Right? So God communicates us through dreams, b'chalom adabrabo, and a bad dream that he allows Satan to vadrei us a cup. How do you say that in English? Vadrei you a cup. But you have to realize that it's a test.
Maybe it's like a play with
He's playing with your head. Okay. That's part of the test. And our job is to separate the schmutz, the chaff, from what? From the grain. And if you can't do it, you go to a chacham. Right? You go to a chacham. And, but this, what's your question with chalamot? I don't understand what chalamot.
It was connected with. Let me ask you a question. How do the Chalamot of Yosef?
What does Chalamoid got to do with this?
Chalamot, that's Yosef.
What?
Yosef.
You started with Halamot.
Chalamot, not Chalamoid. Oh. Chalamot. Don't speak Yiddish, speak Hebrew. Chalamot. Life is but a dream. Da la 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 la. Yeah, no?
Like, so people shouldn't take their dream so seriously, you're saying, like Yosef.
What? No. Yosef had a good dream. And if it's a good dream, you're supposed to make sure it comes true. If you have a good dream, go for it. Try to make it happen. Brother Joe did that. A bad dream, Barry will throw in the garbage. But a good dream, Hashem is sending you a message. You were made for greatness. Don't rest on your laurels. On and on. Avram, onwards and upwards. A good dream is a signal from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I expect more from you, mein Kind. Don't rest on your laurels. Try to come better like Yosef. Don't be satisfied just being a shepherd in the field. You were meant for greatness, but you've got to take the bull by the horn. Otherwise, Yosef wouldn't be great if he sat back and said, "Oh, it's only a dream. Forget about it." No. Good dream, plan, scheme. Make sure, try your best to make it come true. Because God expects you not to rest on your laurels, yes?
2 points. Point 1, look at all the misery that dream caused. When you start pronouncing your arrogance and making jealousy, rivalry, you created the soldier that wanted to kill him.
But look what came out. He saved the whole family from starvation. God works in mysterious ways, right?
From the Holocaust came Israel. But look at the great
but that's the way God works, right? That's by Tuesday talk, Tuesday 2:45, of how goodness comes from sadness. That's a Tuesday at 2:45 over here. But that's the way God operates. But a person has a dream of greatness. Hashem is telling him, I expect more from you. Do the best you can to make it come true. Yes?
Part of that thing, God operates that way, is something is not right.
That's what Avram
confronts Hashem himself.
And what does God tell him?
You operate that
So that's what Job asked.
and
Job asked. And Moshe asked. And what does God tell him? Isaiah 55. My ways are not your ways. And my thoughts are not your thoughts. Right? My way or the highway. What? We can't figure out the divine mind. This is the mystery. That's the way God operates. We can't. Father knows best. Remember that show? Father knows best. That's Judaism. Even though the little kid can't understand, Father looks like he's cruel. Right? But only later on we find out that he meant it l'toiva. So we're little kids. We're trying to figure out God's mind. It's called growing pains. I think it's called Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven. Growing pains. No pain, no gain. That's the way God operates.
my physical therapist says no.
No pain, no gain.
No, he said if you're in pain, get the heck out.
No.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
next question is,
Yeah.
how could you say that a father comes to you in a dream,
Right.
your own father, flesh and blood,
Right.
and how could he say, it's from a shed, this is from a shed, father?
So you have to.
Hey,
That's the test. The good part of the dream, God allowed him to say. The bad part of the dream, that's nonsense. And Hashem is testing you. Will you know to make the difference? If you don't, go to a chacham. So these people didn't keep the money, Sonia. They went to a chacham, and the chacham told them what? Separate the grain from the schmutz.
Give me a cut.
Right? Give me a cut, no? Thank you very much.